This is going to be a look at the Bengals' versatile and aggressive defense against the Titans in their division round win in Tennessee. Heading into the game against Kansas City, obviously they're going to face a different type of offense, but I'm a defensive guy, always have been, always will be. I have to give credit where credit is due, and some of the things I liked about this defense going against, one of the number one rushing attacks in the league, they were very versatile in their personnel groupings. They were very smart in how they lined up and how they attacked what Tennessee showed them. And to me, it's not about Ryan Tannehill throwing 3 interceptions. He did play bad, no doubt about it. In my opinion, the Bengals stopped the run or slowed it down enough to put Ryan Tannehill in some of those situations. Now, I do believe that the Titans had 3 really poor play calls that basically took points off the board for them, that gave the Bengals an opportunity to stay in and win the game. In my opinion, this game was right there for the Titans to win, but you have to give credit to the Bengals, specifically to their run defense and some of their DBs and guys like DJ Reader. Just spectacular play that I'm going to try to highlight here. So this first play is 11 personnel versus the Bengals 4-2 nickel. And look how some of these guys use their hands when we get the end zone angle. But first, check out these DBs. You've got 2 DBs lined up to the bunch side. My goodness, sorry. You got 2 DBs lined up here to the bunch. And then watch how quickly this DB reads and attacks when he gets the run read. And then we'll show you the D-line using their hands from the end zone angle. I'm going to pause it once the play gets started. So here's the 2 aforementioned DBs. This guy, number 24, I think incredibly highly of him. They're in this really cool look where they walk one of their inside backers up to be an edge player, and they've only got 1 inside linebacker remaining. Normally 24 would be here, and 55 would be here, but they're accounting for the bunch, the 3 guys to one side, so they've rolled 24 up to that side, and it's just like a rope. When one guy moves this way, then that pulls 55 over here as well. So we're going to pause it here in a moment. I want you to check out how these guys use their hands to attack these blocks. Look at DJ Reader using his hands. He's not extended yet. 94 and this guy are hand fighting. 57's attacking his blocker. 24's attacking the inside shoulder. 21's trying to get in here and attack A.J. Brown as A.J. Brown tries to dig him out. And then this DB is the guy I mentioned before who's going to attack quickly and abruptly. DBs were really involved. DJ Reader, to me, played a spectacular game. Surprisingly, the guy that played, I think, I shouldn't say softest. The guy who did not have as much impact against the run in this game was Trey Hendrickson. I'm not sure if he's still dealing with an injury or what, and I'll show you a couple plays to illustrate that. He did not play nearly as well as other guys like 96, DJ Reader, and also 94. All right, 11 personnel versus the Bengals 4-2. They're going to force this read for Henry on the stretch. So you see that they blitz this inside linebacker, 57, who's an underrated football player. They're blitzing him through the front side A-gap. So what they're doing is they're trying to take away the two-way go for Henry. The two-way go is, bang it, and then the second portion of that is to bend it back, okay? Now, sometimes people say you can bounce it too, so you got a 3-way go. But the Bengals are trying to force the read for Henry and take away one of those 2 options, whether you want to say there's 3 options, whether you want to say there's 2 options, whatever you want to say. So as we get the end zone angle, you'll see they shift DJ Reader over into a 3 technique, and he plays this extremely well. 57's going to walk up and go A-gap. So what he's doing is he's trying to take away this cutback by Henry as all the flow goes this way. This A-gap, this space here, is going to move horizontally. So 57 doesn't go through this exact space right here. He runs through where the A-gap begins to flow and move, forcing Henry to go to the front side of this. So you see 57 is in the A-gap, and then 98, DJ Reader, who played a spectacular game, is going to win his one-on-one against the left guard. Great play by him, great call. Other guys played well too, don't get me wrong. DJ Reader, exceptionally well. You got 12 personnel here versus, this is like the Bengals 3-4 look, okay? But this corner is walked up playing this brain dead read of reading the tight end, through to the backfield. But he's looking for the tight end to, release, tight end maybe to step to this end, tight end maybe to scoop on the backside, which I think is what he does here. But anyway, they've created a 5-3 look by using that corner to the tight end side. They're just trying to match numbers. And things don't work out as well for them. I think 55 kind of overruns this right here. Last time, like we said, Reeder was able to stay in the B gap, and they blitzed someone through the strong side A. This time, 55, if you ask me, overruns it, and they get the nose tackle. They get the nose tackle cut off here by the backside. Look, the right guard, the center, right tackle. These guys did a fantastic job on this play. He cuts him off. The right guard cuts the nose tackle off, and then this center, I think, gets up to what is the mic on this play, 57. Great play, great job by the O-line there. DJ Reeder gets a hand on Derrick Henry, but it's not enough. All right, I think we're in 12 personnel now, and this is A.J. Brown up here aligned tight to the formation. So that's why I say it's 12 personnel. Let's let it run one time. I think this is a great play by DJ Reeder. I apologize, that was not. All right, this is an awesome job by the DBs. Again, we'll just check out the end zone angle. This is a great job on this backside by 24, who's trying to get inside this gap here. And then 22, I can never say this guy's name. I think it's Owuzie. I hope I didn't say it wrong. He's filling off the outside as well. And look, they've just got everything collapsed here in the edge, and then Henry's going to have to, bounce it outside where they've got the unblocked corner who can help clean things up, along with 24. Look at how 24 digs inside A.J. Brown, who's a strong guy, and then he's able to get in here and actually be involved in the tackle, making first contact with Derrick Henry. Their DBs did a great job. All right, let me rewind that. I did have one note about DJ Reeder here. I think he played a spectacular game. He's the backside 3 technique. We know this run play is going to go over here, so he's not involved in a run fit or stopping the play at all. Watch how he takes this guy on and then holds him. So if there was, and he doesn't know, we know, we've watched it from the end zone angle. He doesn't know where this play could be designed, cut back. It could be designed to go here. So what he's doing is he's not just trying to run around this block. He's actually taking this guy and pushing him back into the other A gap. And what I mean is that here's the A gap, and here's the B gap that Reeder is responsible for. Reeder is basically pushing him back into that A gap that I just drew a moment ago while holding his own B gap here. It's basically a 2-gap technique. He's condensing his inside gap while holding the gap he's responsible for. It's a great play. He played great all day, if you ask me. Again, the 5-3 look. Maybe I've lost track of my plays here. I think this is a great play by DJ Reeder, who's here again. So here's an inside backer, here's an inside backer, here's 24. So this is what I say when I say 3, and there's your 5. So a 5-3 look against 12 personnel again, if you ask me. Oh, yeah. So the nose tackle, 92, does a nice job. They're trying to cut him off. Or the front side D tackle, sorry, 92, does a nice job. So this guy right here does a nice job fighting horizontally while not getting, expanded too far and not giving ground. And then DJ Reeder on the backside. Check him out. Nose tackle got comboed by the center and the backside guard. They kept trying to cut off. Their backside cutoff blocks just were not as good. You're going to get this backside guard and the center on this nose, so they're going to get some movement this way on him. But what that does is it leaves them one-on-one here, and then they're trying to scoop DJ Reeder on the backside, and he just didn't allow them to do that day. This tackle, I think, is Taylor Lewan. He's trying to scoop. He's trying to get to this side of DJ Reeder as all the movement is horizontal, because obviously the left tackle knows where the play is going. He actually false started on that play too. 92 and 98, great job. I mean, I could have done a whole video just about DJ Reeder, to be honest with you. Forgive the film resolution here. You got a stretch play to the left. I think, first of all, you've got a great play by 51 to redirect. He's unblocked, so you watch him redirect back into the cutback where Derrick Henry, not Henry, it's Foreman. Foreman is going. So he's tracking the back. He is almost overflow. You want to stay on the backside hip. He's definitely now on the backside hip because he saw the running back try to cut it back. So nice play by him. But again, the guy who really makes this play is DJ Reader. He's just there all day. I think they're trying to scoop him with his backside guards. They're trying to cut him off. And look at him take his left hand and just frame that guy back into the backfield and keep himself running horizontally. Look at his feet. He's not giving ground. He's actually gaining a little bit of ground. Look where his feet are. They're even with that yard line, whatever it is, just past the 5. And now he's actually gained ground back into the backfield a little bit. Awesome play by him. Great job all day. All right, the Titans are trying to get the Bengals out of this 5-3 look, but they can't do it no matter what they do. So if they go tight end, nobody, so there's just tight end here, and there's nobody outside, all the Bengals are doing is walking his corner up, and now he can read. To me, it almost looks like he's looking at the quarterback right now, but he should be looking at the tight end to see if the tight end, base blocks this end, if the tight end tries to reach him, if the tight end releases out into any kind of route stem, then he can cover him because he's responsible for a man. Titans are trying to get him out of this look, and they can't do it. Nice job on the backside. Again, the Titans are unable to cut off the backside D tackle. That's why they're in these 2-3s. Now, they know where the football is going here. They know they're not running over to this guy's side. But anyway, this right tackle is going to try to scoop and cut off this 3 technique backside, and he's unable to do so on this play. It's a pretty good job by the right guard and the center on this play, but not by this right tackle. It's difficult what they're asking him to do. They're asking him to scoop and cut this guy off without 64 helping him. 64's rules are not telling him to get hands on 69. So 69 is already, his head is a full, 2 feet further this way than the right tackle. So all he's got to do is read the guard's block, and he knows where to go. And he's gone. Nice play by him. Athletic. Good job. Their entire defensive front played well. The guy that, again, I think played the least effective against the run was Trey Hendrickson. Watch 96 on this play. He's going to be right here matched up against the tight end. He's just going to whip somebody's ass. 83, the same guy that I just mentioned they were not going to run to his side last time. 96 doesn't make the play, but you get 2 DBs, one of whom I think is Jesse Bates is rolled up now, creating somewhat of a 5-3 look, but he's just basically playing the role of a strong safety here. And then you're going to get number 20. Once he gets a run read, he's going to fill fast to be the force player. And there's 2 DBs again on the tackle, on Derrick Henry, off tackle. 96, makes the tight end bow back into the backfield, so he takes away any downhill run lane by Henry, and Henry has to bow it outside just a little bit to go off tackle. You'll get a better view of it here. So here's the guy I'm talking about versus the tight end, 96. And they're in this tight front. You got a 4-eye here. You got a 0. You definitely have a 3 on the backside. But everybody knows where the football is going. It's generally going to go here. If they do run it over to the side, you're going to get cutoff blocks on the backside here. But I think it's been established so far they were having a lot of difficulty with cutoff blocks. To me, this just looks like a base run play. This weird scheme, 87 goes to kick someone out, and this tight end folds back underneath of it. I think someone messed this up here. You can even kind of tell by the motion they were unsure of what to do. We'll show you the end zone angle on this one. Now Derrick Henry does make something out of nothing and ends up turning it into a 6 or 7 yard gain. 77 and that tight end who went in that weird motion, they're both kind of running into each other. To me, and I think you'll agree, something's weird here, and this guy's coming downhill. I thought it was going to be a wham play at first. Wham, where a tight end from the outside blocks a D tackle who's unblocked, but no one's unblocked. DJ Reader is holding this A-gap. He's unable to make a play on this snap, and 55 is unblocked and overruns it. 55 is in this gap here, but once Derrick Henry cuts it back, he's come downhill so much, he's unable to scrape back over the top. And Derrick Henry's just a better athlete than him, who's going to change directions quicker. So 55 is unable to redirect and really do anything until it's a 6 or 7 yard gain. They're going to score a touchdown on not this play, but the next play. This is 21 personnel. You get a downhill run by Henry. And the one thing I want to point out, and I know I've talked about him a lot, DJ Reader is going to fall down on this play and still get involved in the tackle. He's doing a good job engaging the offensive lineman. He goes down to his hands and knees and then is still able to get up. And that's him right there with his arms wrapped around Derrick Henry's feet. You'll see it a little bit better from this end zone angle. Here's Reader right here. Falls down. Stays involved in the play. Now some other guys did a good job too. They got this 6 technique on 87, and he's winning that snap also. There's nowhere for him to go off tackle because you've got this DB fitting as the force player, and you've got this stalemate here with the 6 technique in the tight end, or really I think the 6 technique is winning. So there's nowhere to go for Henry in terms of off tackle. He's got to kind of cut it back in here. Reader stays with the play, stays involved even though he hit the deck. That's a pretty cool play. All right, this designed direct snap to Derrick Henry that turns into a touchdown run, and they kind of got things going, right? Even though I say the Bengals did a nice job in the run defense, Derrick Henry was able to get a little bit going there on that drive, had 2 6-yard gains, had the touchdown run. Next series, I believe, they're in 21 personnel, and they really get things going on this drive. Hendrickson, they actually run to his side this time, and he just does not do as good a job with this tight end. He gets kind of taken down. This is Hendrickson head up, and you should have some kind of force player fitting here, which they've had all game long, but he gets expanded a little bit by the motion by Brown. So it's a nice job by the Titans. They understood when they went bunch or whatever, and they lined up there, the corners and guys were able to fit on the outside. This time they motion Brown across, and this guy has to at least respect the fact that Brown could run her out, so he's got to sit back. Hendrickson gets taken down. The lineman pulls and loops, or logs, I should say, and then Henry's able to bounce it. Fast forward a little bit, get the end zone angle. Here's Hendrickson. He's a good football player. He was not as impactful against the run as other guys were. Maybe 57 shouldn't have wrong-armed this thing. Maybe 57 should have fit it outside so 55 could fit underneath. That depends on the scheme that the Bengals, or the scheme that the Bengals run anyway. They usually don't wrong-arm stuff as an inside backer, at least from what I know of. All right, they get things going on the ground again. You get a one-cut run by Henry for like 3 yards, and of course the guy who makes the play, DJ Reader, he's on the front side this time. He's not the backside tackle. He fights off the backside cutoff block by the center. 1 second, let me rewind it. Here's the center trying to get up to DJ Reader. He's going to fight this block off. I think they actually combo him at first. They just zone him. Yeah, you can see the guard step to him. Look how violent he is with his hands. God just played great, man. I don't even know his history in the NFL. I thought he'd been on like 3 teams, but wonderful game by him. He'll be able to tell people about this game for 20 years. So you get a combo there, and then the center's going to try to take him over while the guard works up, and DJ Reader gets involved in the play. All right, now a little bit different alignment by the Bengals. Clearly a nickel look, so this to me looks like 11 personnel, or maybe they're just playing down and distance, because you definitely have a corner, a strong safety, a free safety, which I think is Bates, another corner, and then to me this is a nickel DB here, and they definitely look like they're aligned a little wider. Hendrickson is wide. A great block by Taylor Lewan here. Great block. He's stepping to Hendricks with the tight end, so they're both stepping to Hendrickson, kind of widens up, so Lewan realizes he don't have to do anything with him, and then he comes down on this linebacker, and that's what creates the seam for Henry to run off Lewan's backside. Nice run, nice adjustment by Taylor Lewan. I think it's Lewan, 77, right? And the DBs are there to tackle again, 24. Hell of a football player. I don't know if you guys appreciate offensive line play. I do. I don't understand all the techniques of it, but I just know this guy. I know that on stretch, they're supposed to work to him. If they get these alignments, they're trying to get here, and they're both trying to work here. 91 kind of widens up, so Lawan doubles back and then seals down on this linebacker. Great play. All right, the next play is a huge run by Foreman, I believe. Starts off up to the top side, and he cuts it back. Again, Hendrickson is a backside guy, not necessarily through his gap, but he's very close to this running back. He just didn't close it down as violently enough for me, given that he has a DB who looks like he's blitzing off the edge. So to me, if this DB is outside of you, then you have got to get here on this. If you're on this backside and they're trying to seal you on the backside, and he just doesn't get there. You'll see from the end zone angle, he gets his hands on the tight end, but he's not able to make a play on the football at all. Great run by Foreman, who didn't get enough touches, if you ask me. Here's Hendrickson hand fighting with the tight end. You can see he's not. It's not like he's lined up real far outside of him. He looks like he's inside eye to outside eye. He should be able to get there and take this guy back and make a play. And you can see they're hand fighting, but he's not able to get his hands off and disengage and then get to the ball carrier, who cuts right back through that cutback lane that's created by it. Big run by the Titans after 2 or 3, actually, decent runs by Derrick Henry. So then what do the Titans do? They get stupid. You've just ran the ball 4 consecutive times. The 4th of which was, I don't know, was that a 42-yard gain, something like that? So what do? They throw the football. And they throw an interception. Mike Hinton, used to be on the Steelers, really good football player, nickel DB. Great job. You know, the Bengals are always calling the right stunts. They have such an ability to recognize formations and situations and be in the right call. You have to give credit to their defensive coordinator and defensive staff for coming up with the calls, but you've got to give credit to the players for executing those calls against the right formation. They're not just calling this shit to call it randomly. They're calling this because they recognize something. They recognize a personnel grouping. They recognize a running back on their side. It's just a great call. And they've done this, oftentimes during this year. I praised their defense after the first game against the Ravens and have continued to do so as the season has gone on. As you guys know, I cover the Ravens more than anyone because I'm a Ravens fan. But these guys deserve credit for the way they were able to recognize things and line up. I showed you a 3-4 look. I showed you a 6-2 look. I showed you their base 4-3, but out of a nickel. Just a great job, by their entire scheme overall. But look, the Titans are still going to execute and get some yards. Same thing happens, a similar concept. They're going to down block here, and then this guy is wrapping. There's no one for him to kick out. I always love this Titans technique. The fullback steps opposite, and then he leads here. Another play they have off of this is he'll step opposite, and then he'll run out into the flats for a play-action pass. This guard's going to pull. He should be kicking someone. There's no one to kick because this end steps down. And again, the motion by A.J. Brown is going to pull this corner out and this linebacker. So someone messed up, but probably the linebacker. They probably did not want him to step out and have the corner step out on the same play. Here's the end zone angle. You'll see the linebacker 55 who's on the goalpost. He goes out, just too much room, too much space for Foreman, who, like I said, should have got the football more. All right, I think the next one is going to be a 6-2 look once this DB walks up. So that's 24, Bell. This is 94, I think Hubbard. And 96 played a lot because, again, I don't think Hendrickson played as well against the run as some of these other guys. And you can see Foreman is lighting them up. They were able to cut off DJ Reader on this play. He's the nose right here. So they're able to cut him off. And, these guys do a great job. The right guard gets up to this backer. I think Lawan gets up to this backer. And the right tackle is able to cut off 92. I hope I give you the end zone angle of this one. I know this video is going to be about a half an hour long, but I love defense. I love run defense especially. I don't know if you guys watch Brett Coleman's channel, but he had a great video called Quarterbacks Win Games, but Run Fits Win Championships, and he's absolutely right. That's what you're going to get. This guy's going to work up to the 3 technique, and Lawan is going to work up to that backer. So they get this guy blocked. They get this guy blocked, and they don't have to block this guy because he's got to worry about the bootleg. He's got to at least honor it on some level. You can see how he's shuffling. He's slow playing it. Different people have different philosophies. Chandler Jones of Arizona, Matthew Judon, they're not going to do this. They're going to run right for this point right here. They're going to run right for this point right here. And if Ryan Tannehill keeps the football, they're going to smack him in the mouth. That's exactly what Chandler Jones did to Ryan Tannehill in week 1. Forced a fumble back out of the end zone, or in the end zone. Anyway, Foreman's tearing them up. They actually did a nice job with the backside cutoff blocks on that play. Going to fast forward a little bit here. Get a couple of passes. One to A.J. Brown. All right, this one I believe is a 1st and 10, and I think you're going to get Julio Jones on this little speed out. Easy catch. About a 7-yard gain. Sets up a 2nd and 3, I believe. And I'm going to complain about the Titans' play calling. Am I saying that, oh, the Titans should have won, they're better than the Bengals? No, but I'm saying some of their play calls were very poor in certain situations. I think it's a 2nd and 3, and they're going to hit Julio Jones on this backside drag. You can see good spacing between the receivers. And they hit Julio Jones for a backside drag. I thought Jones had the first down, but they marked him short. You can see the marker is this yard line here. And I guess he is a little bit short. So let's call him short. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. You're the Tennessee Titans. You have Derrick Henry. You have Foreman, who is tearing the Bengals up. You can get a yard, right? Not if you get cute. You can't get a yard if you get cute. And that's what they did. Now, look, they have used this to some level of success for 2 or 3 years. Ryan Tannehill scored a touchdown off of this alignment against the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs in 2019. They ran speed option. He faked the pitch. And after faking the pitch, he ran into the end zone. Against the Green Bay Packers, I believe, earlier this season. He faked it to the running back, kept it, and was gone. Absolutely gone for a touchdown. Maybe it was last season. I might have my years mixed up. Football season goes by so fast. Anyway, 3rd and 1, you got Derrick Henry. Give him the damn football. Or if Foreman's in, he's the fresh guy. Give him the damn football. No, they run zone read. I mean, I guess he reads it correctly. I don't know. I would have just told him to give it, and they lose a yard. I don't know. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Look, the Bengals defense deserves credit. They're reading this guy 96, who, again, I thought he played better than Hendrickson this game in terms of, being a 6 technique or being a 9 technique. Here he is. He's in a 5 or a 7, whatever you really. I'd call that a 5 outside shade of the tackle. He's unblocked. So Tannehill's reading him. I guess this is a keep read. I don't know. If Derrick Henry's on my team, I'm giving him the damn ball. So 4th and 1. And they're not in field goal range. I mean, I guess they are in field goal range, right? In the NFL, it's 35, 37, 38, something like that. He threw the interception early in the game, down there in the end zone, or down there in the red zone, after they had 4 consecutive run plays totaling like 57 yards, something like that. Now here they are on the 35 in the second half. And the only reason that this guy cheats down like this, all right, in case you don't know, in case you didn't notice it during the game, is because the Bengals aren't respecting him at all. They've got an inside backer. They got an inside backer. I believe that's another inside backer, 57. So I think you've got 55, which is Wilson. I think you got 51, who's a pretty good player. I forget his name. And 57, another really good player, and I forget his name. So you got 3 inside backers on, and you got 5 D linemen. So clearly you've got a goal line type look by the Bengals selling out to stop the run. They're not worried about that slot, that tight end who's lined up as a slot at all. And you can see as soon as the ball snapped, this guy's going to go. And if he's not inside this gap now, then Derrick Henry's going to try to bounce this football. There's nowhere to go. Great job by the Bengals D-line. Look at the swarm of people. I mean, they wanted it, man. They wanted it. Hey, look, are they going to be able to do this against the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, look, the Chiefs aren't going to be in these formations. The Chiefs aren't going to be in 22 personnel or 13 personnel, whatever you want to call it here. Chiefs are going to be in 11 personnel all game. Some 10 personnel, occasionally 12 personnel, right? So it's going to be a totally different math problem for the Bengals to try to solve. The one thing I will say from my observation of them this year is whatever you line up in, they're going to have what they think is an answer to it. They're going to have what they think is an answer to your personnel and your formations. And I just love what they do on defense. I mean, are they a great defense? No, they're not. But I don't pay attention to points per game, yards per all that shit. You can pay attention to that. You can be the stat guy. I'm not. What I saw against the Titans, they look like a team that's prepared by someone, a group of people that's very smart, and they look like a group of very smart players that understand what techniques to play, when to play those techniques, and why they're supposed to be doing them. This video went on a little long. Hopefully you appreciated it. I appreciated the Bengals' defensive effort against the Titans. Look, 2 years in a row, the Titans have lost home playoff games when their run game has been, well, the Ravens shut it down last year completely. In this case, it was slowed down. I mean, Foreman went off. I think he had like 4 carries for 76 yards or something like that. Henry was like 3.1 yards per carry, so obviously not as effective. But they definitely slowed down the run game some, forcing Tannehill into some of those mistakes, even though I think the play calling bears some responsibility as well. Let me know what you guys think of the video breakdown in the comments section. And if you'd like to see some more content like this based off the championship games this weekend.